Prisoners Guards Union.
Here it is, the Federal Reserve.
Is that why they get paid so much?
That's right. They make in excess of 150.
So we're making our way back to the occupation camp right here in front of the Federal Reserve building. They have it blocked off. As you can see, this is not a government agency. This is privately held. It's private property. The officer that you see right here is defending a privately held bank, a corporation for profit. This is the Federal Reserve. This is the occupation, separate from Herman Plaza. As you can see, people are still posted out here. We're not going anywhere until the Fed is gone. Here we go, free food for the occupiers. Justice for Officer Grant. Justice for Kenneth Harding. Both shot in cold blood by the San Francisco, one by the Bar Police and the other by San Francisco PD. There's fruits, vegetables. Some more messages here. The library.
Oh yeah, it was strong. There's a deli over there. You can tell it.
As you can see, the Federal Reserve Bank is locked. A private corporation for profit, not a government agency, pretending to be a government agency. We also have Charles Hill.
They're solid.
He was also murdered by the Bar Police. Free Bradley Manning, political prisoner, locked up for speaking the truth and blowing the whistle. Some more stuff here. But this is it. Everybody's at Herman Park right now, but our signs are still here. We are still here. We are not going anywhere. How's it going? Thank you. Yeah, I just had to get some footage of the occupation here in San Francisco for the rest of the world. It's not being broadcasted on Fox, you know. You guys want to say anything for the camera? You good? Shy? It's all good. There it is. It ain't going nowhere. And the Fed, baby. Tear down Wall Street. How you doing?
Hi.
I like your flags.
They're not mine.
When people stole their toilet paper. So I think they'd be happy to host occupiers.
Hey Chris, you want to say anything for the camera? About the occupation and the Fed and...
My God, what a fascinating time. I just like to see this group set the example and not get co-opted.
That's why we're here.
That's right.
So what would you say is your, I guess, demand for the occupation? What do you want to see come out of this?
I'd like to see, and I've actually asked a lot of people that same question, and oftentimes I'll get the response of like, oh, a People's Party or an Occupy Party or some sort of political solution. What I would like to see come of this, and where I try to steer that conversation into, and they always agree, is that we can take care of ourselves outside of government solutions, and we can flat out just ignore what is being programmed to us and propagated to us to the point where we just occupy the streets and have this kind of dynamic on a larger scale. I think we can have little communities that take care of one another, and I'd just like to see it continue to grow and continue to be a leaderless movement and occupy the world, you know, so that it's a circular power structure instead of a pyramid one. So yeah, that's something that I get a lot of I get a lot of hope actually in seeing the General Assemblies, because we're watching, you know, things get done, you know, on a real personal and down-to-earth way. So it's an example that it can be done and it works, which is obviously a threat to the status quo and the system that is. That's why Rainbow Gathering is labeled a terrorist organization. They're not doing anything harmful other than setting an example that, hey, we can take care of ourselves.
So what would you say in regards to the Federal Reserve printing out money, countless money, and having the American taxpayer have to pay that back?
Oh, it's moronic. The concept of not only printing up money out of thin air, which is really no different than monopoly money, except that we've all seemed to agree on value in this right here. And this all has value, but the monopoly money, that's just a game. Oh yeah.
So you referenced Monopoly. Would it be fair to say that in the game of Monopoly, the person that always wins is the bank? Is the Federal Reserve somewhat like the bank in Monopoly?
The Federal Reserve has a monopoly on our currency, and thus controls it through the debt. And the debt affects the inflation. The degree of inflation affects our purchasing power. And the objective in Monopoly is really like the Illuminati card game in its infancy. I mean, the objective is to take over the board, is to own everything, is to have a monopoly. So absolutely, the Federal Reserve is acting like it's already won,
so,
even though there's...
Right. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I'm about to end this interview here, but one last thing that I wanted to say is with the occupation and everybody that's here, of the people that are here, how many do you think actually know about the Federal Reserve Bank and how that basically gives the credit to Wall Street? Like, what was your feeling from the crew? Like, the people that were here, are a lot of people aware of the Federal Reserve Bank?
It's the people that are aware of the Federal Reserve Bank and the degree of its influence and its history is more than I expected, but it's not enough. And I would say it's probably maybe about a 10% awareness, which is hopeful for me. Because in this area and in this community, it feels like there's really any subject that you could bring up, and there won't be the violent ridicule that you'll get on the street or in any other situation. People will listen to you, which means that they're receptive, which means that they're willing to learn.
All right. So this will be the final question here. You've been protesting against the Federal Reserve Bank with myself for several years now, and I've experienced. I'm sure you've experienced it. But like you're saying, the reception of the people are you noticing are you really noticing a shift in the mindset of the people?
It's obviously it's not taken off as fast and as quickly as we'd like to, but it's there. And that's something that's been really rewarding and awesome to see. And I would compare it to the 9/11 scene. When we were first doing it, it was a lot more ridicule, and then now more and more, the more you do it, the more reception you're coming back, people coming back up to us.
So persistence pays off in the long run.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's why they say eternal vigilance, brother. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Dude, thanks for...
And the Fed, bro. And
dude.
The Fed, dude. That's the thing. We got to just keep pushing for. We'll see some changes happen once that, goes down. And like you're saying, the bankers have a monopoly on money, and until we break that monopoly, we'll hopefully see some freedom. Thank you.
You audit the Fed, you go right into all of that the nefarious stuff, the black budgets, and all, you open up everything.
Yep.
Once you open up the Fed.
So audit the Fed, end the Fed. 1776 Part 2 will not be televised.
That's right.
All right, brother. You take care.